Hi, Lee Phillips. I want to talk about naming guardians for a minute. Usually the guardians are named in the will, not in the trust, in the will, because it's the probate courts that manage the guardians. So you name the guardians in the will. Does that mean that the will has to be probated? Yes, enough to name the guardians, but we're not transferring property through it, so it's not a big deal. We file a will with court. We have the guardianship accepted by the court and the individual who's named as the guardian. Who do you name as the guardian? The guardian is the guy, by the way, who takes care of the little kids. The kids that are under 18 years of age. If you don't have little kids, don't worry about it. But if you have minor children, this is critical. This is one of the saddest places in the law that I have ever dealt in. Grandma and Grandpa, they come in, they're sitting across the desk from me crying. What's happened is several years earlier, the kids had been killed in an automobile accident. That left the grandkids orphaned. Grandma and Grandpa want to raise the grandkids. Professor Uncle in town everybody wants to raise the grandkids. The grandkids are now living 1,500 miles away with a truck driver in Texas, shoestring relative. Came to town, got a barmaid to go into court with him. The barmaid testified, a number of years earlier, I heard Mother in the bar say, if I ever die, I want my kids to go with a truck driver in Texas. Why did the truck driver in Texas want the little kids? Well, it's not what you think. It was a little bit of life insurance and Social Security. That's it. Kids are now living in Texas. There's nothing I can do about it. Judge ain't going to change his mind. We're not appealing it. It ain't going anywhere. So you name the guardians. You decide who. And the court will almost always defer to your decision. So what are the qualifications? Well, we obviously want somebody who'll raise the kids. Are they going to raise them the way you wanted? In the church group you wanted? In the social status you wanted? On the side of town that you want? Are they going to live in your home? Are they going to raise the kids there? Are the kids going to go with them and live in their home? These are things that you can actually address in a will. So you decide who it is, and then you put restrictions on them, provided they raise the kids in the house, provided they give the kids flute lessons, provided they, Grandma and Grandpa, provided they have the health to take care of the kids. Grandma and Grandpa, provided they don't sell the kid. We go on down like this and we put restrictions on them, okay? So who it is, and then restrict them. And nobody ever restricts in a will. It's just John and Mary, guardians of the kids. Well, if John and Mary are divorced and living with a couple of sleazeballs, I don't want my little kids to go live there. So it's John and Mary, provided John and Mary are still happily married and harmoniously living together. So you put these types of restrictions on it, in addition to who is named. Do we care if the guy that we're naming is a spendthrift? Maybe not. They're a great parent. Can't squeeze two dimes together and keep them in their pocket for 10 minutes, but they're great parents. So these are the considerations that you have to make. And I have seen people never make out a will or a trust because they were afraid to make this decision. Well, excuse my French, it's a hell of a lot easier for you to make the decision than it is the judge, and I'll guarantee you're going to make a better decision than the judge. So decide, write it down, it's in the will, so you have to write a will. Now you're going to write a living trust too, right? You have the living trust and the will, they always go together, you're always going to have a will too. But one of the primary purposes of the wills is to name the guardians. Get the guardians named. Oh, you don't have minor children anymore? You've got grandchildren, and I don't want you sitting across the desk from me crying because the grandkids are gone. By the way, there's a PS to that. 20 years later, Grandma and Grandpa come in. They want to amend their trust. They've never seen the kids again. This is Lee Phillips. You name guardians.